Happy Wednesday. We are so excited to have you joining us today for our Tucson Village gathering. And this morning we have the dynamic duo, Crissi Blake and Nina Isaac, both international board certified lactation consultants at Tucson's very own Milk and Honey. They are amazing. They help moms and babies bond through positive breastfeeding experiences. So even if you're not starting out on a positive note, they can help you get there. All right. The entire team at Milk and Honey strives to nurture and empower the whole family. They have a holistic approach to breastfeeding, and they aim to provide both new and experienced parents with breastfeeding support and education through that postpartum period and beyond. So welcome, Crissi and Nina, here to talk to us today about myths surrounding breastfeeding. I am so excited. I am going to give you guys the floor.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and it was really fun to listen to everybody's stories and introductions, and we're really grateful that you all have joined us today. Some familiar faces, a lot of new ones, so welcome.
Thank you guys so much for being here.
And there's so much to talk about. I know we're not going to get to all the myths, but we wrote down, we just jotted down a whole bunch that we've heard over the years from our moms, things we've heard directly, and we want to bust those myths.
Let's do it. Mythbusters, breastfeeding edition.
Exactly.
Do you want us to tell you more about us first? Or you
I want to know a little bit more. I need to know your favorite type of plant. And because I see your plant and I love it, and I'm like, I couldn't keep it alive.
Funny story about that plant. Really funny story. You have no idea. Yeah, we'll tell you.
Let's hear it. I knew it'd be
well, I don't have a favorite plant because I kill plants. My favorite kind of plant is a live one. But this plant, I'm Nina. I guess we'll introduce Nina Isaac. I am one of the founders and co-owners of Milk and Honey, specialized breastfeeding and postpartum support center here in Tucson. I am a speech pathologist and a lactation and international board certified lactation consultant. And I specialize in infant feeding and lactation. And I have 3 girls and a grandbaby and dogs. And here I am. And yeah, our support center just has a holistic approach to feeding, infant feeding and lactation, and we're here to support moms and babies and families in whatever their feeding journey looks like.
It's amazing. I love it.
What about that plant back there?
Well, do you want to introduce yourself first?
Okay.
And then we'll do the plant?
Okay.
Because it is a good story.
I'm Crissi Blake. I'm a registered nurse and an internationally board certified lactation consultant. I have 2 kids and a couple dogs and a couple other creatures that live at our house.
Wait, what is the creature?
Oh, we have axolotls.
There you go.
That's amazing.
For those that don't know about them,
I'm going to tell my kids.
They're so cool. They're like alien looking.
I love
little creatures. So I'm co-founder and co-owner of Milk and Honey with this lady right here. And we opened the brick and mortar 6 years ago. Before that, we were doing in-home lactation care. And so we're super excited to be able to provide support to the Tucson community, which is near and dear to both of our hearts, but especially mine because I was born here.
Yeah. All right. I'm a transplant. That's true. You have a little more. So wait, there's a funny story about the plant. We'll tell you very quickly. So this, back to 6 years ago when we opened up our brick and mortar, my first client here in this building gave that to me as a gift. And like literally we had nothing here, right? We had like a little bit of furniture. I think we had a couch. I had a scale and like, I don't even know if I had a desk.
Yeah, it was bare
nothing. And I'm like, yep, we're open. We're open for business. Come on in. And she gave me this plant. And it is a succulent. One would think that I could keep a succulent alive. I thought all these years that I was like, wow, I think it's all the oxytocin and the love and like it gets sunlight, but God, I never really water that thing. How is it still alive? And lo and behold, this one was keeping it alive. I really thought it was me.
I water plants. which is something that
Oops.
Nina forgets to do. So I was just keeping it alive for her, and I never even thought to tell her that I was.
I keep babies alive, not plants and dogs. I'm really good at dogs and babies.
Oh no, it was really funny the day we finally realized.
I was like, what? It wasn't all the love and oxytocin I was given?
and that.
So this plant, Jennifer, there's the plant. Love it.
Okay.
Okay.
Megan's asking what an axolotl is. That's exactly how you spell it, AXOLOTL. And it's a salamander.
Is that what it is?
So they technically can live on land or in the water, but ours are aquatic axolotls, and ours are the white and pink variety. So if you're Googling axolotls and they pop up, they
It looks like an alien.
Oh, they're so cute.
Yeah.
They're
It's
so
from
cute.
outer
And
space.
yes, Minecraft has them. And Minecraft just added them. They're kind of crazy. So yeah, we own them. You know.
All right.
No big deal. Okay. So
Just jumping in.
should we jump in, Megan? Are there any questions like right off the bat that have come up that we need to answer? Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah, let's jump right in. Are we gonna start at the like most like chill myth, or are we gonna start with like the most intense, like insane myth that
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question.
We have
where are we gonna start?
I think we start with the chill and then we'll like,
We'll work our way up.
it's mind blowing. Some of them, they are to us. Some of them. I mean, we've heard everything. And I think I want to start, my thinking is I want to start with ones that we just hear over and over and over again. But if you like aren't sure, if you're like, I heard this thing, is it true? Throw it in there.
Yeah.
And we're going to ask you guys, some of these might be truths.
Look at Macy.
I know.
Macy, I see you.
You're delicious. It's just, I want to go, I want to take a bite. So I not only, I eat babies. I want to take bites out of them.
Be careful. when you
Masks
bring
are
babies
actually good. They prevent me from accidentally biting a baby.
babies.
So which one do we want to start with?
Okay,
Let's do it.
Gosh, I mean, so for those of you,
Let's start with the first.
Let's
right?
start with the first one. So we often, we hear a lot of things when people come to the office, like, oh, my grandma told me this. Oh, my medical provider told me this. So a lot of people say, like, if your baby eats all the time, that they're not getting enough milk from the breast, right? We hear this thing about, oh my gosh, I just fed her 15 minutes ago and now she's back in the breast and I must not have enough milk, or she must not be getting enough.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? Probably not.
No.
Probably not.
No. Babies eat whenever they want. They don't know how to tell time. You hear us, anyone that, knows us or hears us on Instagram, like babies eat, they don't know how to tell time. They don't know what a calendar is. They don't know any of it. All they know is they're either hungry, thirsty, or they just want to suck. They want to snuggle. And so babies can eat every 15 minutes, not 24 hours straight, right? We get some breaks, but they can eat as often as they desire. And that helps us make more milk. It helps baby get those calories. Some babies are snackers. Some babies are like, they just chow down. And it's all about the whole picture. And so
we always take,
it's false.
Is your baby growing well on their own curve? Or is your baby peeing and pooping and meeting all the developmental milestones?
Mm-hmm.
Yes to all those questions?
Yes.
Just keep doing what you're doing, Mama.
So on that note, Crissi, my doctor told me that my baby's supposed to breastfeed 15 minutes on each breast, though.
Oh my gosh, how will you do that?
But it's really hard because what happens is, like, I'm trying to get her to nurse and she's just like,
is she fussy?
Yeah, like, I don't know why she's so fussy.
She's pushing away.
Well, like 7 minutes and 15 seconds is all it lasts.
Oh my gosh.
Something's wrong.
Something's wrong with you and something's wrong with your baby.
I think so.
No.
What?
You hear, if you go Dr. Google, you're gonna see things that say babies should feed every 2 to 3 hours for 15 minutes on each side.
Mm-hmm.
And again, babies don't have a clock in their head. The only thing that's ruling their hunger or their need to be at the breast is their own brain and their own desires. And so when you see those things, it's not the minutes at the breast that count. It's really what baby's doing at the breast that counts, right? If they are, right? That makes more sense. That's what you should tell your doctor next time you go.
All right, but my baby does have I know my baby has rolls. My baby has rolls. I don't know what's going on.
Are you worried about your baby?
No.
Okay.
Well, not until the doctor told me that.
Right.
Then I started worrying.
Right. Well,
so these are things we hear,
less.
guys. And so the thing is, every baby's different, right? Every mom's breast milk storage capacity. And Jenny, Sarah, feel free to just feel free to just throw stuff in there. But we all have different breast milk storage capacities, how much milk our breasts hold, and they're different, and the flow's different, and the time of day, and whatever is going on. And so, and every baby's skills are different. Some babies are like, give me that milk. They're done in 5 minutes, and they're like off crawling. Who was saying their baby, I forget which mama was saying, like, yeah, their baby gets distracted. They're off doing something else. And then like, wait, I want more of that.
Coming back.
Yep.
The
And
open
some
buffet.
babies snack. You shouldn't let your baby snack at the breast. Have you heard that one, guys? You've heard that one, Sarah.
Yes.
Yeah, please chime in if you want to unmute yourself. A conversation.
I'm gonna say I snack. Why can't my baby snack?
Right?
Exactly.
And sometimes I'm just thirsty. I just want to sip.
Mhm.
Look, wait.
Look, I'm city. I'm like,
And then sometimes I want water, and sometimes I want coffee.
Sometimes I just want to
A
snack.
lot of times I want coffee.
A lot of times you do. Sometimes it's just a little cheese and crackers, right? Just like a little, I just want a little snack.
Yeah.
So regardless of baby's desire to go to the breast, all of their reasons are valid.
Yeah.
Whether
As long
it's
as
hunger, thirst, snacky, cold, tired, tummy ache, nightmare, scared, whatever it is,
cuddle,
the boob fixes it.
love.
We
Yeah.
say here at Milk and Honey, when in doubt, whip it out, referring to the breast. And so
Right, we should clarify.
Us too. Yes, I didn't think about clarifying that we meant breast.
We should probably. I do that a lot.
we had a dad in group once who was like,
What?
Whip out the breast, please.
Yeah. the breast. So that continues to be our motto because it's true.
Yeah.
The breast can fix everything. It's an excellent parenting tool in that way that you don't have to worry about what's wrong with baby.
Right. Is
If your
baby
baby's
hungry?
latching.
Is baby like, I don't know. It does not matter.
Yeah.
And that is the beautiful thing about this symbiotic relationship. We say the symbiotic relationship between mama and baby. It's just like, I don't know. And then listening to your heart, right? Listening to your gut, listening to baby. That's that symbiosis, right? You're both kind of working together. And I love it. But a lot of things in our culture, what the heck is that?
Sorry, it's
She
the
got a little
chat.
chat. It's like totally throwing me off.
Because Sabrina said sometimes it's Thanksgiving and sometimes I pick up the leftovers.
I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Leftovers are good.
Mhm.
Cold in the morning
Yeah.
for breakfast.
like cold pizza, right?
Yes.
Yes. When I could
was
eat.
gonna say, you mentioned it's a great parenting tactic, and I remember vividly it was my last kid, and I think she was like maybe 18 months. She weaned a little bit early, and then I have weaned my other kids, and I remember I was like devastated, not because she wasn't nursing necessarily, like it was her time and she was ready, but because I couldn't use it anymore as like a redirect. And
I
like,
would joke it's lazy parenting. I'm like, I don't know what they hear. Just nurse. Like if I was on the phone, oh my gosh, that was the best. Like, okay, just nurse for a little bit so I can talk for
Just
a
a
few
little bit
minutes.
longer, or there's a few extra snuggles in the morning when you just really
I want to fall back asleep for a few minutes. Like just nurse.
Yeah.
But our culture doesn't really support that. And so we think something's wrong with us, something's wrong with our baby. Our gut's telling us one thing, but then we call it the noise. There's all this noise. And so this is all about the noise.
Yeah.
And just busting that noise, busting those myths and listening to your heart. You guys, it's in there, you know. And that's what it's about. So thank you, Sarah. Let's see.
Oh yeah, we added that one in.
I know.
What are you going to say?
Well, it kind of goes along with this. Well, we wrote a whole bunch that go along with this topic. You need to get your baby on a schedule.
I need to get my baby on a schedule?
You do.
Why? What's going to happen if I don't?
Your baby will never learn to self-soothe.
Oh no.
Your baby will never learn to eat on her own.
Oh no.
She'll never learn to sleep on her own.
And how will that affect her later in life? That
Right.
could be detrimental for her.
You need to get her on a schedule. First of all, you'll never get anything done. You'll never get
I'm
anything
already so
done.
stressed. I don't even know how to think
No,
about a schedule.
you need to start right now. Your baby's 5 weeks old. Start now.
Oh no.
No?
No, I can't do it. I'm just going to feed her on cue. I'm just going to do it.
Good. Fine. Ignore everything I said. Yeah. And we hear, these are just things that we have heard kind of time and time again from different parents and what they've been told. And it's not, there are lots of programs out there. There are lots of books and programs. And just because someone writes a book doesn't mean they're an expert. Anyone can write a book. Anyone can start a program, and we have to be really careful, like discerning, like what is our heart telling us? It just goes back to your heart. What is your heart telling you? There's really no fact to that. And actually, when babies' needs are met, they actually outgrow those needs eventually. They may not outgrow those needs tomorrow or next week or next month or even this year, but they will outgrow those needs. And each baby is different. I see the difference with, you know, my kids and my grandbaby. They're just all so different. I'm the same.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what? How do you, what? And so, but they having trust, like trusting your baby, trusting your body. And those mostly, right? We work with babies and mamas who there are things they need help with. But usually just when things, your baby's growing, everything's trust. And so that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. And I think a lot of that trust, you know, it gets a little blurry because we hear so many things and we see so many things and we have so much access now to information that that noise that we're talking about becomes what you hear instead of just tapping in and trusting what your heart and your gut is telling you. Those maternal instincts, they're in there.
There's a reason for them.
Yep.
I remember when my kids were little, with my first, I didn't know. It was 21 years ago. I didn't know anything about parenting, breastfeeding. I was like clueless. And I finally, at 6 months, I finally started going to La Leche League meetings. And I was reluctant. I had heard things like, oh, they're just militant. And then I went and I was like, oh, I have found my people. So they were only monthly meetings. And so I would go, I'd hear all this noise, and then I'd be starting to doubt myself. Like, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. And then I'd go to those meetings and get filled up for a month. And then I'd go to the meeting the next month and I would just get filled up with like, okay, this is so validating. This is how I want to parent my kids. And I needed that. And that's what this is about, right? This is about supporting you guys and what in your journey and what your heart is telling you. And so that's why we do support group. That's why we do Instagram. That's why you're doing this.
Yeah, that's what villages are all about.
It's a village.
I saw a comment that looked, I wanted to
Oh yeah, you're looking at the comments.
I am, only because my go-to passive aggressive comeback to when are you going to stop breastfeeding was, I'm prepared to FedEx my milk to the dorms.
Oh my. Why didn't I think of that one? Did you actually say it? Did you say it, Sarah?
Absolutely.
Oh,
With the straightest face
I
possible.
love it. Yeah, having good comebacks in the moment. Yeah.
I feel like it was my comeback to mind your own business.
Yeah.
Like I'm allowed to feed my baby when my baby needs to eat, where they need to eat, when they need to eat.
Yeah.
And if you feel like you need to make it your business, then there's a problem with you, not me. Yeah. Like all those memes, like put a blanket over your head, you know, like, oh, that's so mean, you know. But I was always very nice about it. Like you would never know that I was being tongue-in-cheek rude to you, but because that wasn't my intention. I'm not a rude person, but you know, that's not why do I need to listen to that noise? And I love the way.
And why does it matter?
Yeah,
like my mama gut is stronger than your noise, and the second it starts to shift the other direction, I need to reevaluate myself and my commitment to my baby.
Yeah.
Right? So,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, you guys.
I love it. And another funny one is like, oh, when is your baby gonna be done with that?
Yeah.
Your baby's in about 5 minutes.
but then you're gonna have the other so.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
This one. The other one, I don't know. I'll be here for a while.
That your baby's never gonna learn to self-soothe. Your baby's never gonna learn to walk. So we have another one. You're gonna spoil that baby. And I heard even with my third, I kind of wore them everywhere. And I got, your baby's never gonna learn to walk. And I'm like, wow, that's so weird. Like as my other kid's riding her bike.
Yeah, You never put that baby down.
I heard that a lot. Yeah, even with the third, I got so much unsolicited advice.
So interesting.
I'm like, dude, this isn't my first rodeo.
Yeah. And of course, it's the unsolicited advice that we hear
In the grocery store.
That's the loudest, except for the parents who like look and nod or like, you're doing a great job, mama. It's all the other stuff that is the loudest for us sometimes.
Yeah. I love making eye contact with moms in public. I'm like, they're not making eye contact. And then like giving like, I feel like a creeper, like total creepster, like, good job.
I'm watching you. I see you. This is a cute aside. My son, you know, he's 13 now, but when he was around 10 years old, we were at the mall and he saw a mom nursing in one of those like fancy massage reclining chairs, right? And so he was walking over there and I thought he was going to ask me to, you know, pay for the fancy massage chair. But he walked over and he was just kind of like looking at her out of the corner of her eye. And he kind of looked at me and then he turned to her and he said, good job, mama. And then like ran away. It's so cute. And she was kind of like, I just watched him run down the way. And so, you know, as advocates for breastfeeding, our children become advocates too. And that's how this next generation of people are going to continue this work. Yeah. And it was really cute.
Oh, I love that story. This goes along the same lines. We hear this from some of the programs that are online that are very popular programs. Do not nurse your baby to sleep. Sarah, I'm sure you've heard that. Jenny, you guys.
This is a myth.
The only way they'll go to sleep if you do that. Clearly.
Right. They're never going to learn to sleep on their own.
Yeah.
Ever.
Bad habit.
Like need some sound effects.
I know, right? I need that big like X over that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is biologically normal. Like think about all those hormones that make you sleepy. They make babies sleepy. Like why would we not nurse our babies to sleep? Why would we put them down awake unless they want to? But why make it so much harder? Being a parent, oh my gosh, it's such a rude awakening. Like the first time was the hardest for sure. I was clueless. And to make it harder, I think these rules, a lot of rules and noise, it's like it just makes it so much harder on an already really hard job when we don't have a natural village, right? And so then we're doing it alone. And then it's like, wait, but
you're doing it wrong.
Put that baby down. Do not nurse them to sleep. 15 minutes on each side, all those things. And it's that rule, that one kills me. And I hear that a lot. Medical professionals and family and friends. And
then
all
you
of
have
those
these
things.
moms that feel guilty for their babies falling asleep at the breast.
They don't want to tell you.
They don't want to talk about it. And it's just, if our bodies, you know, if babies weren't designed to fall asleep at the breast, then why does our breast milk have a sedative quality to it, right?
Why do we feel so good?
We feel so sleepy and cozy? You know, why does that skin to skin contact regulate all of their systems when they come to the breast? I mean, it's just, if you think about it from a biological standpoint, it makes more sense why babies love to fall asleep at the breast.
And these rules, they are very cultural. And these rules were, a lot of them made by people who aren't women.
People who don't have uteri.
Uteri, yes. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Please post.
I'm gonna check the chat.
I'm glad you're checking the chat.
I like some of these things where
I need to put this on.
Oh, Bethany, we love the view. Amazing, so cute. Rachel said, a certain older female relative used to tell me not to pick up my son every time he cried because it was good for his lungs to let him scream.
I've heard
and
that
she said,
one.
major eye roll.
I remember hearing that the first time with my first, and I thought, is that true?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know.
Right?
I was like, maybe their lungs do need to develop.
They're older than me, so they must know, and they've had kids, so they must
Hogwash.
know. Hogwash. That's our other favorite thing to say.
Hogwash.
Sabrina Butler said, breastfeeding buzz is the best. It is, isn't it? Just when they're in your arms and their eyes roll back
I miss
in their
it.
head.
I totally miss it. When my baby stopped nursing, I was like,
the best.
Yeah, easy. It's not easy parenting, but that parenting tool went away. Like Sarah was saying, it sucks.
Yeah.
Like I love that parenting tool. Now what do I do? Darn it! I have to come up with all these other.
I know.
That's the problem.
What'd you say?
There's no sucking anymore. That's the problem.
Right.
It's the lack of sucking that sucks. All right, Crissi.
Okay,
what
let's
next?
see.
We can move on to like some other.
I know. I'm trying to think.
Hey, in the chat, can I interrupt you guys? In the chat, Cassandra said, she's saying breastfeeding and cavities. I mean, I know this one is, and I've heard this so much.
Mhm.
Let's chat. Let's chat.
I forgot to put that one on our list.
That's a
I
great
love
tip.
it.
We're gonna write it down because we're making them.
What do we want to do it now?
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
but I'm also gonna add it here.
Oh,
'cause
yeah,
I think
yeah,
This will
so
be a
we
good
have it.
ongoing list.
Oh, this is one we love. So, and Sarah, Jenny, please feel free to chime in with all your research knowledge as well. But hogwash. That's all I have to say. No, I'm kidding. I never only have one word to say.
Yeah, I think this is the opposite, right? Like there's chemical components in your breast that actually prevent cavities.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, and nursing your baby, like, so we hear a lot, like, whether it's preventative or whether a child has a cavity. Often it's after the fact. When a child goes to the dentist and has a cavity, we'll get calls or moms like panicking. I'm told I need to stop nursing in the middle of the night, that's causing my baby's cavities. And I need to wipe her teeth every time she nurses. Every time she nurses.
Like her teeth and her tongue.
Oh
I
gosh,
get that a lot too.
none of it is true.
Yeah.
Just what Sarah said, breast milk actually is protective. And you think biologically, we would not have survived as a species if that were actually true. The truth is that the foods we eat, the carbohydrates and the sugars that we eat, that's actually what is causing the problem, especially with our American diet. And so, and then the breast milk kind of mixed with those carbohydrates, it's kind of a catalyst, and that's what it's about. And so basically brushing your baby's teeth after they eat all the stuff that we eat, it cleans the teeth. And that's all you need to do. And that's, morning and night, not even during the day when they're eating and snacking, and it doesn't matter. Just before they go to bed, you want to make sure that their teeth are kind of wiped off, cleaned off. And then they can nurse to their heart's content.
Yeah, nurse. And it's a good opportunity to start good oral care anyway. They have those little finger toothbrushes. You can do it together. And so I think that should be the message more, is let's talk about good oral care for babies rather than blaming it on breast milk.
We err on this side, our society, we err on the side of blaming moms and blaming our breast milk on
For everything.
so many things. For everything.
It's true.
It must be your breast milk.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about
got one
those
of those
things.
here.
Yeah. It's your breast milk.
Your breast milk probably doesn't have enough calories either.
Oh,
your baby's
that's
not
what
gaining
it
weight.
is.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Oh, so you mean my petite baby who's in the third percentile?
Mhm.
No, maybe the 1st.
Mhm.
It's my,
It's
that must
your
be
fault.
it.
So you should start eating more fatty foods.
It's not because genetics.
No,
Really?
it's really just your fault.
Okay, so my daughter, who's now 5'11", when she was a baby, you sure it wasn't my fault that she was tiny then?
It might
4'11", did I say 5'11"?
Yeah, I was like, she's not
4'11".
that tall.
No, she's 4'11" and 3/4. So my adult child is 4'11" and 3/4. Her being a tiny baby, I thought that had to do with my breast milk. Genetics, crazy. So yeah, it's breast milk is also not deficient in calories, ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty much ever.
So if your baby's gaining slower, it could be
Other reasons, right?
like genetics,
Yeah.
or other reasons.
Yeah, there might be other things going on. And it's
Mhm.
not always about mom. Sometimes we got to take a look at baby and see what's going
A
on.
lot
right?
of times.
Sometimes
yeah.
babies, we call them, they're little sucky suckers. And so we need to figure out what's going on. Yeah.
Should I not send my breast milk out to be sampled and looked at to make sure that it has the right components in it?
Ah.
That's a
Yeah.
great question, Sarah.
Sometimes to prove. Come again?
I saw an ad on my Facebook, and it said that I could pay to
Right.
look at to make sure that it was okay.
Shut up. That's a thing.
That's a thing.
Totally a thing.
That's totally a thing
Oh
that you can send it
my
away.
gosh. That is a great question. No.
The problem with that is that we're looking at one sample from one period of one day, right? So because we know that our breast milk is magical, it changes calories throughout the day, morning, afternoon, evening,
Beginning
night.
and
Yep, all over the place. So there's really no way to determine how many calories your breast milk has from one particular sample. And so forget about this.
and it's just not a thing.
Yeah.
So they did studies in Africa, and they looked at malnourished mamas, and what they found was that these mamas who actually were pretty malnourished, their breast milk was even perfect. And so they had to be extremely malnourished for it to impact the volume and the composition of the breast milk. And so and we've heard this is another myth along those lines, we went from teeth to caloric content of breast milk, that if you don't eat enough calories or you're not eating the right kind of foods, you're not going to make enough milk. Hogwash. And so it just isn't a thing, guys. Your breast milk is perfect for your baby. And every mama, it's different. And like Crissi said, it changes from beginning of feeding to end of feeding, from day to day, from all the things. And each mama is different. And babies and moms, it's a symbiotic relationship. And so baby may eat more and at a certain point, or, you know, if there's more water in the milk at that moment, another myth buster, then baby, you know, might be more thirsty or drink more, eat more. So that's why allowing your baby to just eat whenever he darn well pleases, is why we recommend that, because your baby's they know what they need. Trust your baby, trust your body. And your breast milk is perfect for your baby.
Yeah. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Sabrina say, please do the pump and dump myth.
That's on here.
You're getting us all fired up.
Wait, do we finish the teeth thing? That's just, we're good. We're good with teeth. We're good with composition. Yeah. Pump and dump.
Oh. Oh, goodness gracious. We get calls almost daily from moms who have to go on antibiotics or some other medication, or there's something in their system and somebody has told them that they need to pump and dump their milk.
A lot.
You guys have heard this.
Yes.
It's common, and it's so common that people say pump and dump, pump and dump. It rhymes, it's cute.
Like, just pump and dump,
Yeah.
just in case. Not to throw my anesthesiologist brother-in-law under the bus, but I will. Sorry. But, you know, this was a long time ago. We had a real big discussion about this. And, you know, he would say, well, I wouldn't tell moms to do that. I just, in case they were worried, I told them, you know, in case you're worried, just pump and dump for 48 hours. Dude, don't say that.
That's all they hear.
That's
pump and dump for
all
48
they hear.
hours.
He's like, I wasn't telling him to do it. I'm like,
yes,
you were. Yes,
as
you
a medical
were.
professional, you
Yeah.
were.
So I think he changed his tune after that. I'm like, just don't say that.
Zip it, throw it away. Yes.
Yeah. So tell us more about it.
Yeah. So what we know is that the majority of medications are safe when we weigh out risk benefit, right?
Overwhelming majority.
The overwhelming majority, like maybe a handful of drugs that we're like, ooh, no. So we have good research to support it, thanks to Dr. Hale. And we have good current books and apps and things that we can look at. So not
the right
just,
ones.
Yeah, the right ones. So that we can actually give that information to our moms and our clients to tell them like, no. But it starts with having the right information. And luckily we do. There it is.
Yes, there it is. Thank you, Jenny. There it is. Yeah, and there are apps too. So check. Oh, we say always check.
Yeah.
But not necessarily pharmacists. No offense. And I had this discussion. I got kind of upset once. I'm advocating for a mama. We get pretty fiery. Maybe more than once. And so I called the pharmacist and I just said, hey, let's have a frank discussion. She was not very open, but she said, this is what is in front of us. We have to say this. I'm like, dude, but it's not even based on research. And so be careful who you ask, but you can always call us, call Jenny.
Yeah,
call
there's
Sarah.
There's a hotline, there's a book, there's an
Hale's
app.
hotline,
But
always check.
Always check. And also we get a lot of questions in our group about alcohol, right? Can I have a glass of wine?
That's in the chat. I was just gonna say.
Oh, is it? Yes.
Not just medications.
Yeah. So we hear this a lot about, you know, people drinking alcohol and always the pump and dump. And then there's those test strips, which is a whole other conversation.
Or wait 2 hours. So your baby, do not feed your baby for 2 hours.
Yeah.
So
what
are you doing? No, I was going to.
Oh, you're feeding your baby and drinking a glass of wine?
Is this okay?
Yes. You know what happens? that alcohol that you're drinking right now goes through so many different filtration systems before it actually reaches baby's bloodstream.
What?
So first your saliva breaks it down, and then your stomach acids break it down, and then it goes into your blood, and your blood breaks it down, and then it goes into your breast milk, but then it goes into your baby's mouth, and their saliva breaks it down, and into their belly, which breaks it down, and then it goes into their bloodstream. 7 different filtration systems before it actually reaches their blood.
Tiniest bit. Now, we're not advocating getting drunk and nursing your baby, but have that margarita or your glass of wine. You do not need to waste money on test strips for your breast milk. That was did you know that about the breast milk?
Well,
The sending it away
I didn't
business?
know about that, but
And then the test strips for alcohol.
Yeah.
Do not waste your money. Yep. If you can hold and nurse and care for your baby, like if you can hold and care for your baby, you're okay.
and it's very common to go to Europe or other countries, and you'll see women in pubs nursing and drinking, and
Yeah.
nobody thinks
In
twice
Italy,
about
drinking
it.
that glass of red wine.
Right,
with
and
their
that's
pasta.
where the majority of our research is coming out of, not in this country, unfortunately, but other places. So there's some research to support, but the rule of thumb is if you are having a glass of wine or beer and you feel okay, like you're talking normally and
gin.
standing up, or gin, whatever your drink of choice may be, then you're safe to breastfeed your baby, right?
Yeah.
And as soon as that alcohol, so if you do get a little buzz on, and you're feeling like, oh, I don't know, just wait. Once that alcohol leaves your system, just like with anesthetic drugs, once you wake up from a C-section and you're feeling fine, we encourage you to
Yeah.
breastfeed.
But pumping
So
and
it's-
dumping doesn't actually make it
Doesn't
leave
take it away.
anyway.
Yeah.
So it's all just, yeah. Silliness.
It just metabolizes.
Yeah, but it's that making our lives like harder. And caffeine too.
Yeah.
Caffeine, you can have your caffeine, have your cup of coffee, eat all your foods.
Yeah.
Eat all of it.
Bethany's got some stuff over there. I see her.
Were there other questions?
There was something about, pump it up with
How
alcohol
much
consumption.
alcohol?
Okay, good.
I think
How
we
much
answered
is-
that.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
just
so.
Be your own judge. Be
Can
your
you
own
drink too much
judge.
and it not be safe? When you are feeling less buzzed or less drunk, for lack of a better word, then that's when you nurse your baby. When you are not feeling your best, that's when the alcohol in your system, if you've gone out with the girlfriends and had 5 margaritas or whatever it is, right? If you're going to a bachelor party and you really want to just, get buzzed, then you need to just wait until your body feels better and then nurse your baby. Same thing we talk about with anesthetic drugs. So it's a similar
And
thing.
you do. As soon as you're feeling okay after, if you have surgery, major surgery, you can nurse your baby. You don't need to wait for it to completely be out of your system.
Yeah.
For
So
so many reasons.
That pump and dump business,
Yeah.
hogwash.
What
What we touched on? Oh, I
What?
know. The
What?
fore milk, hind milk
Oh.
business.
This is a big one. Sarah and Jenny are laughing because this is like, I don't know how it got so popular, you guys. So I'm sure most of you have heard about fore milk, hind milk, fore milk, hind milk. And it just got like a lot of like traction, and it's like a little bit of truth, and it went, it went viral.
It did.
Is that terminology?
I think that's what it is.
It went crazy.
It went crazy.
And-
Everybody talks about it now.
Yeah.
And
we
everybody
have-
worries about it now too.
Yeah.
Oh no, I have to really empty this breast. Baby has to stay on here until
Jenny,
this
have you
breast is
heard that?
empty,
Sarah, you guys?
so they can get the
Yeah.
hind milk, which is considered, has more
What?
calories.
Yes.
Yes. And we hear like people being given advice like to make sure their baby nurses on one side and empties that breast. And so what we're finding is like moms are just trying to get their baby to empty their breast on one side and just not offering that second breast. Our bodies, it's not like it's fore milk and then it's hind milk. Fore milk and hind milk, they're both important. Fore milk is that kind of more watery, hydration filled
Yeah.
milk. And then hind milk, what it is over, as your breasts are fuller, there's more fore milk. As your breasts are emptier, there's more fatty hind milk. And it doesn't start and stop. It's just this gradual thing that happens, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Your baby needs all of it. And so that's where we say, feed your baby on demand. They're going to get what they need throughout that 24-hour period. And you don't have to worry. It's another thing that we have put in there to make moms like their heads spin. Like, why are we doing this? We don't need to worry about it. And so, you let your baby nurse on the first breast. Some babies are done with one, and then they seem like, okay, let's offer the second. And then you do the little sorry, I'm feeling my
test.
boobs. You do the field test, like, oh yeah, you don't need to like put a pin in it. You just go, oh yeah, this is the boob to start on. And they might want to nurse like 15 minutes later, and you just go, oh, I don't know, do I put them on the same? Do I put them? You don't have to worry. What were you going to say, Sarah?
Oh no, sorry. Sabrina said, raise your hand if your child favors one breast over the other.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the way that I talk to my patients about it, like in a clinical setting, right? Like you guys do is listen, like it's like this big 24-hour loop, right? And like they're gonna get everything they need. But even over little, like here's your feeding, feeding, right? Like every little feeding is exactly what they need.
Yep.
Every 24 hours it comes around. So even if these weren't, which they are, it's gonna come back around anyway.
Yeah. And it's gonna go like this, and every 24 hours is different. And you know, whatever is going on with baby. And that's where the snacks and the big meals and if we just follow, it just takes away this these rules. It's all these rules, like, and it can interfere. It can interfere with milk production and with waking. And just that trust between mom and baby, breastfeeding parent and baby. It just takes away that trust and that bond, because you know, we're questioning, should I be doing this? Should I not? Is baby hungry? Is baby not hungry? It doesn't matter. Which breast did I feed on last? I don't know. It just doesn't matter. It is that 24-hour.
I think it's the bond, that trust between mom and baby, but also mom's trust in her own body, in her own gut, right? Like you have moms coming in, like you were role playing earlier, like, but really, like, you know, I wasn't worried until my doctor said something. That and so that's overriding that internal guts, and you know, we do know, but all that noise again, it's clouding that mom gut and really tuning in to that.
It is, and it's sad, and that's where a lot of, you know, beware. We say beware of, be aware. Beware of those programs that are out there online and books, certain books that just really, it's very parent directed, or just trying to manage baby sleep and eating. Like we hear that eat, play, sleep thing, or play, sleep, eat, or I don't even know what order. And it just doesn't matter. Play, eat, I don't know. And
I think I would get that confused every time, and then it would stress me out. Like, oh, are we supposed to be playing now? Sleeping? Eating?
But wait, baby's not supposed to be eating. They're supposed to be sleeping.
Oh no, I'm doing it wrong.
And then we hear, like, my baby's supposed to sleep X amount of hours a day too. That's another one. And it's like, I don't know, just stop looking at the clock. Then we don't know. Does your baby look tired? Do they look hungry? Do they look like they want to cuddle? And it goes back to trusting, right, Sarah, trusting yourself, trusting your baby. And it takes that anxiety. There's so much. It takes that anxiety just so down. It's not that anxiety and postpartum depression can't coexist with successful breastfeeding. Then we want to address that. But it can take that unnecessary anxiety down. There's so much. It just makes it
so much worse. And I'm seeing some comments in here about like overproduction and how that can be really challenging when we're trying to balance out, you know,
the boycott.
The boycott. So let's see. One boob bigger than the other.
Yep. My baby was boycotting the breast. Yep. And you're like, if your baby's boycotting one breast, like for whatever reason, maybe it's a flow difference or something's going on. So you can start out on the other breast and then just like slide them over. When your baby's sleepy, try that left breast again, try a different position. Your baby will again. And if that's still happening, I think are you in Phoenix? Yeah, go get help from these guys. But so usually it's just like, I don't know what's going on. Let's try something different. And that usually works, like trusting the process. Baby will usually go back, but it's a great thing. It's something that happens sometimes.
Yeah, babies get this flow preference. They're like, ooh, that left boob just like pours into my mouth.
Oh yeah, so great, she said he was fine after 2 feedings. Yeah. So it's trusting, not going to that panic, like, oh my gosh. Yeah. It's so easy for us to panic. My baby's never gonna nurse on that side. Yeah. Or if a baby has a fussy moment and like stops nursing, like during the witching hours. Yeah. And you're like, what is
going on?
Trusting.
And we hear that a lot, you know, that slippery slope of giving the baby a bottle in the evening can be so challenging because
what's one bottle?
What's the what difference does it make?
That one I've heard. I like to hit you.
I know she does. She likes to bite babies and hit her business partner. all that. But
Why? What's the problem with just one bottle?
Well,
what's the big deal?
It's a slippery slope. Because in the evening time, what your baby is trying to do is build your supply for the next day, right? Your prolactin levels, that hormone that makes your milk, it starts to kind of dip a little bit, and baby's like, uh-oh, milk supply is decreasing. Eat.
Cluster.
And then that's what helps your supply rise for that night and the next day. So when we give a bottle, our body isn't getting that message that baby's getting a bottle. And then
they get used to a flow from a bottle.
But my baby sleeps better if I give him a bottle before bed. Slippery slope again.
Yeah.
What is the alternative? Is that your supply is going to reduce, and then you're going to have issues with milk supply, possible weight gain. So it's this, this thing that happens. Yep,
yeah,
exactly.
All of it. And sometimes in the evening, babies just get fussy. All of my babies had this witching hours.
I have it.
7 to 11. I felt dread.
Yeah.
Sometimes like 6 to 11.
Hours.
Yes.
All of them. And even the grandbaby, I was like, oh God, it brought back like kind of that dread again. I'm like, this too shall pass, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And sometimes they don't even want a nurse. And you think, as a new mom, you think, is it my milk?
Right.
Do they not like my milk?
Yep.
Do they not like the taste?
Do
I have a low milk supply? And it's like, nope, their nervous system or their gut, they're immature, right? Nervous system, gut, who knows? And it's like, okay, the yoga ball.
Yep.
Bouncing.
Bounce.
And then every
Pass
so
the
often,
baby
you want a baby, you want a boob, you want a baby, take my baby.
That's the other thing. Tag team that business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Victoria said there are so many rules for our babies that it feels like we can't just sit and be with our babies. Like, do people not remember they are babies, not adults?
Yes.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally.
And this is the time to just be too. You don't have to get all the things done. And sometimes babies do just need, they don't even want the boob. They just need, okay.
Yep. Here we are
like
together.
They're crying, and you don't have to make crying go away all the time, right? It's
as
like,
long as you're being supported and you're holding them in loving
just
arms.
Oh God, how many hours rocking?
Cry too.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when, especially for a baby with an immature nervous system, if there is a lot going on in our world that we just metabolize because we're used to it, but for babies, it's bright, it's loud, it's crazy. There's a lot going on, extra stimulation. I know as an adult in the evening, I'm like, whoa,
overstimmed and overstimulated, and
so it makes sense.
And they're in utero for 9 months, so that 4th trimester. God, is this the first time we brought up 4th trimester in this whole conversation?
What?
All their needs are met 24/7. We say they're never cold, they're never hungry, they're never alone. And so to expect our babies to be adults, little adults, and to just like go figure it out. But we're not told that before our babies are born. And so we're like, it's like a shock to our system. No one told me that my baby would need me so much and would need to nurse all the time, be held all the time. And it's not forever. And it's just, if we normalize that 4th trimester of like, this is what they need, and they will outgrow those needs. And you're not doing anything wrong, and there's nothing wrong with your baby. That is the message that we need to be giving moms before they have baby, and then reminding them all the time.
This is normal. This is normal.
And sometimes medical providers, they want to fix, right? We've heard that. Like, they want to fix mom's fatigue.
Yes.
That exhaustion. Oh my God. Each time I noticed it with my grandbaby, I'm like, I've never been so exhausted in my life. Oh wait, yes, I have. 3 other times. Because I was, there with my daughter, and I'm like, I can't even see straight. Where's my coffee?
I know. What time? What day is it? What time is it?
And sometimes as a society, we want to fix, like, not just, you're exhausted.
This is hard.
This is hard. We want to fix it. And it doesn't always need to be fixed. Just validate it. Like, this is exhausting. Let me take your baby for a second so you can close your eyes or take a shower.
Yes.
Yeah.
Eat a hot meal and then dropping it on your baby's head.
Sarah?
Are they dropping on baby's head? Coffee?
Not hot coffee.
Okay.
Just
I definitely ate ice cream off the baby bump,
right?
A noodle.
Guacamole drips on the baby's head, just lick it off.
Yeah. A little bit of rice there. Sorry. I have a great picture of me with one of my first were twins, and was sitting at the table, and they're like, unless you look, you wouldn't notice, but there's his little head. It's just peeking up. I mean, he was under 4 months old. It's just,
I love it. I love it.
well, I hate to say
Oh.
it, but we're at 11
There's so many more.
picks, and I'm sure you still have a list. So I don't want anybody to worry. If you are willing, I need a part 2. I feel. So,
Sure, because there are questions on here. Sarah had one, so yeah.
yeah, can we maybe do like a part 2 at some point for another Tucson gathering? We can invite everyone back to keep going, because I think, I mean, obviously we knew we were getting into a very huge topic here with many, many myths that just weren't possible to all be busted in the day. Thanks for joining us. Those of you who have to pop off, I understand.
And join us on Instagram too with some of these questions that we didn't get to address. There's an oversupply question, and we do Instagram every Friday at 11.
Oh, great. Okay. Friday at 11, you said?
Yep,
Yeah.
every Friday at 11 on Instagram
Awesome.
Live.
We'll put that on as a note on the Facebook Live for everyone. And then is there another, I wanted to just ask if we could put a contact email or something that would direct people to you, or is Instagram best?
Instagram's great, but you can always call our office. Our office coordinator Zen can
Awesome.
help you understand kind of how we work and
Call, email.
Yep.
We're not good at, I'm not tech savvy or techno savvy. So we don't always see those Instagram questions.
right.
So email is probably better, or phone.
Yeah.
But just joining us live is also just a great way.
So milkandhoneytucson@gmail.com is a great email address. And then our office phone number, 520-477-7752.
Awesome. Awesome. And Megan will put that, and she's typing away over there, so I know she's writing that down.
Again.
To add, she's my guru here. Definitely.
She's techno savvy.
Techno savvy. Clubbing, yes. I'm not in that scene anymore. I have too many children. Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much for being here with us today. This was riveting and such important and relevant information for all of us. I want to thank you all for joining. Those of you who are on our either Facebook Live or on Zoom. Coming up, we have a couple of gatherings. So our next gathering is going to be a gathering about meditation. And what is it? Because I know everybody's probably heard of it, but like, do you really know what it is? And do you really know how to do it? And why? So we're going to do that in our West Valley gathering. That's going to be next week on August 4th. There's some links in the comments that have just been posted. Megan's awesome again. You can learn more on our Facebook page with that Learn More link, or you can just go ahead and register. And then the next ecosystem lunchtime conversation. This is kind of the other end of 4th trimester, more geared towards providers, but also including all of the families. We're going to talk about the impact of COVID-19 on infant feeding. And so, no brainer. If you liked today, come to that, especially if you are in some of these organizations like Nurse Family Partnership. First things first, we're all caring for those moms and supporting those moms. And so this is going to be a great time and also very informative. And then we don't have a topic yet, but our East Valley gathering is the next one. We will be skipping our central gathering this August because Arizona Department of Health Services has given scholarships for anybody in the state of Arizona to take the Postpartum Support International training. And so that is concurrent at the time when our normal central gathering would be. So if you're interested, sign up for that. I will be there. I received my giant book in the mail. I am very excited that they think like me and printed out all the notes and the slides. I'm like geeking out, you guys. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have paper to write on. So I will be there. I maybe see your faces at that. So that will be in lieu of our central gathering. And then if you would like, you guys can all exchange your info. If there's people who wanted to connect with others in the Zoom, you remember there's a direct option to message people, not everyone, if you just drop down that little blue tab there in the chat. So please connect with each other. Crissi, Nina, thank you so much with Milk and Honey in Tucson. Thank you.
I forgot we're not on, I'm like quietly, I forgot we're not muted so we can talk.
Thank you
you
for
for
having,
having
us.
us.
We're really happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's been so wonderful to see you. Yeah.
Yes.
Me too. It was fun.
It's
Thank
just
you, Eileen.
great. So thank you, Eileen, for setting this up with them. Thank you so much for joining. If you all have questions, please reach out to them. I know that if they're anything like Jenny and I, they're there to support you, and they're there to help answer your questions and be that light at the end of the tunnel if need be for you, to help you redirect any maybe potential bad experiences you may be having or have had with breastfeeding. So please let them know how they can support you in that. If you're in the Tucson area, especially, and then if you're up north more, you can let us know, and we can pump out some resources for you up here. All right. Well, thanks again. Jenny, did you want to say anything before we close?
Yeah, Eileen had pointed out that August Tucson gathering is going to be on cranial sacral therapy, and that will be in a month on August 28th. So
August 28th. So our part 2 will come later, guys. We need to interject with some cranial sacral information. This is good.
Good. Word out.
This is good. But yeah, let's connect Crissi and Nina, and we'll talk about a part 2, because I think it would.
Sounds great.
Thank you for
Bye,
having us,
guys.
everybody.